What's it all about?
Well, we wanted to build a building that would outlive us. Actually, the plan was that we wanted a building that would be here forever, dedicated to making Jesus famous.
Roll cameras, roll audio. Auditorium Story intro, take one.
This is holy, this is holy ground.
The first Sunday where we saw everyone queue up and experience it for the first time, we had Holy Ground playing throughout the whole day, and the amount of tears that people wept, it was so special. And then the next Sunday where the team came in on Saturday night and set all the stage up. We painted it all down there, put it all up, the screen was up and everything, and then watching people walk through the door and sing the beauty and the set and the stage and the lights. People like, this is my church. That was really special. People to know Jesus, it's incredible what he's done in my life. Yeah, I just want to see as many people, all my school friends, I tell them about Jesus and they don't fully get it, and I want to see them through this door and encounter Jesus the way I have, because you just won't be the same again.
I remember being back in Haysfield times that every Sunday morning we'd be there setting up chairs going, God, give us a building, give us a building.
Like Steve said, every time we would set up and every time we put out a chair, it was like we were just believing for having our own building in Bath, which we knew was quite a challenge. There were so many things up against us, getting a piece of land in Bath and building on it. So to actually be having this building here, despite all the odds, it's absolutely incredible that we've actually got it built and we're sat here.
Yeah, I think there's just been such a battle over getting this building, for Betsy and her family. They've sacrificed so much, but also, just the sacrifices of all the other families in church that are actually, given and sacrificed holidays, sacrificed all those sorts of things. But to finally put a stake in the ground and say this is our building, and we're going to be staying here, it's just amazing, really. Yeah.
It was almost like the story's coming true, because from the very beginning we were told we would have our own building, and having had several homes around Bath, to actually think, yeah, we are building a home. This is going to be ours, somewhere we can call home and put down roots, and it was somewhere that so great for us, great for our kids, and great for the generations to come. It's ours. Yeah.
I don't think we realised the impact until that actual putting the capsule in and just seeing the diggers. I think it had been one of those faith things that you kind of pray and believe for on one level, and you have moments of visualising it, and then it doesn't then you let it drop, particularly through some difficult seasons. We're like, oh, yeah, right, we'll have a building one day. Just kind of holding on to it, but not really, and just thinking about God's faithfulness when we looked at the diggers. I'm making me emotional now, just thinking about that moment of what the church's journey had been to get to that point, and the battles seen and unseen, that, oh my goodness, this is actually going to happen. This isn't just something we'd prayed and hoped for in that kind of hopey way, but actually it was something that was definitely going to happen. It was huge.
To get to the point where we could sign on the dotted line wasn't easy, it was a battle. Our mortgage offer actually expired during the building process, so again we've got the structure up, I can still remember it. The structure was up, the steel frame was up, people's like, whoa, steel frame, I'm like, oh, mortgage! And we hadn't yet signed, and we hadn't got those pieces in place. We ended up with the chief executive of the mortgage company coming down and meeting Betsy and Andrew, and actually that being such a key day, but even that being a fight. So the day they were due to come down, all the trains out of London stopped running. So Paddington stopped. Getting here was a fight for them to get here, so we're praying, come on God, get them out of London and down to see the building, because we knew if they could come on site, if they could meet Betsy, if they could get just a touch of the anointing that's on her life and what the plans God's got for freedom, we knew they'd catch it, but they needed to come and they needed to stand. And I remember standing up in the boat room looking out the window while they were talking to Betsy and Andrew on site, praying, going, come on God, come on God. And they left and we were fine, the mortgage was secured. We did get the paperwork in place and we did sign, but no, it wasn't an easy process.
Right from the beginning of the church, we'd sought just to buy some commercial property, and we found this place about 400 yards down the river in about 2004, 2005. And it was an absolute dump on the riverside, but we saw some potential and we renovated that. And it became our office space, and we ended up selling that in about 2011, which actually released a whole lot of money miraculously. But it was like we had no idea how we were going to get the money for this whole thing, because it was figures way outside what we were expecting to pay. But God turned up.
Well, I think the key thing is we've never built an auditorium before. We've renovated buildings, but we've never built a commercial auditorium. And the original plan was, it's still called the Black Box Project. We just wanted a really simple black box. The inside, we always wanted it to look like a creative arts centre, but outside we weren't so bothered, to be honest. We wanted something that wasn't so expensive. But it ended up that as we kind of went along the process, that Bath being a World Heritage City, we had to have something that in the end our architects said we want to win awards for, because it needs to be something that's seen by the city as something beautiful, in line with, they knew, our creative arts vision. So that's what we've ended up with. But there were lots and lots of points along the journey where we were like, what's going on here? And none of us had a clue.
And actually, when we got this place, we thought we were going to knock the whole thing down and just keep the little listed building at the front. And then you had a dream one night which actually changed the whole thing, but it actually saves a lot of money. It went from a £7 million project to about a £2.5 million project. Can you tell us what happened?
Well, I think what's amazing actually is that we didn't realise that we saved £5 million for about 5 years. And it dawned on us one day. That's a lot of money to realise. Not that we had it, we didn't. In fact, there was one architect meeting right at the beginning with the £7.2 million proposal, and the architect looked at me and said, have you got the money for this? And I said, no, we've probably got about £10. And I laughed, and they all looked horrified, and they said, actually, we're concerned about our fees. I said, oh, we'll be fine, we'll be okay, it's God's building. Yeah, it was funny. But the dream was for the Trauma Recovery Centre. I really, really, really wanted to build incredible kids' facilities where the kids dreamt all week of coming to church because they're fun, like really fun. And then I thought, what on earth would happen all week long with it? Like, we can't waste it. And I didn't really want to do a school. One night when I wasn't thinking about it, I had a dream. Trauma Recovery Centre, I saw the soft play, I saw the castle, I saw all the therapy rooms with the kit in. And then I woke him up, it's about 3 a.m, and I said, we're starting a trauma recovery centre. It's called a trauma recovery centre, and that was incredible. And we started renovating the building about a month in the November 2010, and we opened I opened a completely separate charity called the Trauma Recovery Centre in the May 2011 with a great team of people. So yeah, that saved us £5 million. Who knew that would ever happen? And we get to be a huge blessing to not just Bath, but the local community, and we have people travelling from all over the place.
We actually had this prophecy on our groundbreaking day, which was about this being a launch pad to the nations. And I know that actually as a church family, what we're called to do isn't just to have an impact locally, but actually further afield as well. Some people might be sent out, or just their sphere of influence being like where God puts us to actually bring his kingdom on earth and have a massive impact worldwide, which is such a privilege to be part of and just really exciting.
What would you say to the next generation listening?
Oh, so much. Don't take your eyes off Jesus. Don't let all the issues that come up, all the challenges that come up, all the things that are going to be thrown along your path, don't let them distract you. Keep your eyes on Jesus. He will lead you. He will walk with you. He'll never, it makes me cry too. He'll never leave you or forsake you. Don't take your eyes off him. He will show you what to do.
We've heard a lot of stories about the sacrifices and the issues that have come up. Was it all worth it?
Yes, because I feel like we've made a tiny little dent, but it's worth it because people are finding Jesus and finding healing, and yeah, it's worth it because anything that draws attention to Jesus is worth it. Yeah.